Proceeding on, there was one general that really made a significant effort. Here we go, back to the book. Initially, General von Seydlitz was dumbfounded. Stunned, he accepted the order, but in his heart he rejected it, particularly since he was painfully aware that his own hands were tied. Not until the following day, 25 November 1942, did General von Seydlitz react to Hitler's orders, and his reaction was as much filled with a sense of responsibility as it was temperamental. Addressed to the Army Command, it took the form of a detailed evaluation of the situation that Corps Commander had his Chief of Staff prepare. It surmised once again all the arguments against the Stalingrad Army, digging in and urged the breaking out of the ring immediately. So what's cool about this book, they actually have this actual document that this guy wrote. Have you ever heard me talk on the podcast about getting all your ducks in a row? And like, hey, if my boss tells me no, cool, I'm gonna get all the information. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make a bulletproof argument that my boss is going to agree with, because you can't. My argument's gonna be bulletproof because I'm right. And if I wasn't right, then I wouldn't go this far, right? I'm not gonna put my reputation on the line arguing something that I don't truly believe is right. I'll say, okay, well, you know what? He could be right. So you know what? I'm going to try and execute it to my best of my ability. In this case, Seydlitz is like, no, it's not. No. And he says, okay, I'm going to put together this thing. They have the document inside this book. I would read it, but it's long. It's so detailed that it would take too much time. But it lays out every little detail of why they need to break out, and not in an emotional. That's what's beautiful about it. Not in an emotional way. Maybe I just need to check myself because maybe more emotion was needed. But generally, if you come across as really emotional, Hitler would think, a boss would think, oh, you're just emotional about this, Echo. You're just emotional, buddy. You just need to calm down.
Just calm down.
Carry out the orders. So he didn't. He played the role, or he used the strategy of just calm. This is what's going on. This is what needs to change, or this is what we need to do. And if we don't, it's going to be catastrophic. Back to the book. In the emergency situation intensified by the OKH and OKH's Oberkommando des Heers, which is the supreme high command of the German army, General von Seydlitz demanded from the commander-in-chief of the army that he act immediately against orders. In other words, against Hitler. So Seydlitz, when Seydlitz got told no, he's like, no, listen, we need to do it anyways. That's how passionate. So now he's starting to get a little bit emotional and passionate. He declared it to be an imperative duty to the army and to the German people to obey the dictates of conscience and to seize the freedom of action that had been forbidden in order to prevent threatening catastrophe. The memo was passed on by Army Command, but had no effect whatsoever.